Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Last time we traversed our way up the Snowpeak mountain here, and we made it to the beast that we've been hearing about. We made it to his home. So let's go ahead and head inside and see if he does have the next piece of the Mirror of Twilight for us. And here we go, we are entering our 5th dungeon, the Snowpeak Ruins. Now since this dungeon is located up in the snowy mountain heights, we're going to be seeing a lot of ice and snow around the area, so that's one gimmick of the area. Another thing is we are going to be seeing some ice-based enemies, so they will be a little harder to kill normally. But besides that, this dungeon really isn't all too bad. It is laid out like a house, so we'll be going from room to room to see the different parts of this dungeon. But besides that, this dungeon is pretty standard. The only other thing we will be working with is with both the mountain beast that we met earlier and his wife. So we will be interacting with these two. In fact, the wife actually gives us our dungeon map, which in my opinion is the easiest dungeon map to get in this whole entire game, because it's pretty much required. They hand it right to you. Overall, I do like this dungeon though. It's a pretty nice themed dungeon. I do admit it does drag on a little bit. It feels like it should end earlier when it doesn't, but besides that, this dungeon is still pretty enjoyable. So with that, on with the episode. So, right off the bat, we see there's a post soul sitting in the middle of the room. This is Snowpeak Ruins. Doesn't really look like a dungeon at first. It just looks more like a... well, actually more like someone's house to be exact. A rich person's house to be more exact on that one, but it doesn't have that dungeon vibe right away. Especially because most of the doors you'll be going through in this place, if not all of them, are standard little doors you can just go ahead and open up no problem. But they give you a free pose right in the center of the floor, and that's probably one of the easiest poses that you can get in a dungeon. But let's head in here. This is one of the only areas we can go to, but it's actually one of the most important areas because, as you see, there's someone else in here. Who? Sorry, I have sickness. I wonder, is this the wife of that creature? Come closer, Okay, so what does she want, huh? You cute little human. Husband told me you come. You want to look at mirror, huh? My husband found it, but a pretty thing, huh? But since I get mirror, I get sick, and then bad monsters appear. So many bad things happen since mirror. So we locked bedroom on 3rd floor where it hangs, huh? Wait, I tell you where key is. And this is one of the easiest dungeon maps you'll ever get, because you are required to talk to her, and she gives you the map right away. Fear makes head blurry, but it probably here in the room marked by the symbol. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to change floors, so it's not too far away from us, it looks like. It's just a couple rooms away. So this is gonna be easy, but right now, can't even get up. Would you bring it to me? Start with door right here. And she points you in the direction of the door, even though the camera didn't focus to it all that well. But in here is another room where we see another character, that beast we saw earlier. Wife look bad, not healthy since mirror, so I make soup for her. Fish from Zora Village are most nutritious. You tired, huh? You have some soup. I give you energy. No, it give you energy, sorry. So you can go ahead and scoop up that soup, and each little piece of the soup will have like different healing abilities, but we want to come over here real quick first because Uku is standing right over here, actually stuck in a pot like always. So in case you want a warp point, then here you go. Here's some Uku for you. And let me just skip this thing's dialogue since we've seen it before. But as you noticed earlier, I said different levels of soup. This guy's soup will get upgraded as, you know, each part of the dungeon you go through. Then there will be new things he can add to the soup. in the beginning, I think it just restores 2 or 4 hearts, and in the end, it can restore like 8 hearts, something like that. So it's pretty good. But it's not really something I need to use right now, so I'm not going to be going out of my way to get the soup and use it. As you see, they start us off right here with a puzzle. And actually, this is one of the hardest puzzles in the game, something like this. And I say this because, as you see that little block in the center, it's frozen solid, and we'll have to break it probably in the future. But that's not what makes this puzzle hard. No, it's pretty simple, as you see. We just have to push these blocks in the right order. And then we can go ahead and just press it onto the switches we need. But you can tell, there's a switch in the center. So you're going to have to maneuver these blocks around a way where you can get the stop in the center of the room. Now I say that's one of the hardest puzzles in the game because I don't just use it in this dungeon. There's a little cave actually near Zora's domain later on that you have to use that skill to get a heart piece. And that's why one of the hardest parts of this game. Since it's optional, it's not really something that many people run into, but it is still a difficult thing to do. But dig your way outside here, and then you'll see this is an area of the dungeon you'll be coming to a lot. And as you see, they zoom in on that door on the very top. That's actually where the boss is. So we're going to have to make our way up there as soon as we get this boss key that we're hopefully going to get very soon. There's a lot of these wolves out here that we've seen actually making our way up Snowpeak. I was about ready to call this Snowhead. Well, actually, now that we're good at, a good amount of length into the story and whatnot, I can finally talk about this because this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while now. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time have a lot in common. They really have a lot of things in common with each other. Their plot is very similar to each other, their layout is very similar, the items and weapons you can use in this game are very similar. There's just a lot of things you can compare to Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time. In fact, a lot of people have said that this game is pretty much like the successful sequel to Ocarina of Time in a lot of ways, because it just pretty much does a lot of things that game did, while doing some things different. But this game has a lot of the same, like, plot lines and whatnot as Ocarina of Time. You have to, go through these first 3 dungeons that are based on a forest temple-like area, a forest dungeon, a mine dungeon, and a water dungeon to get yourself the Master Sword. Once you get the Master Sword, there's these dungeons in between you have to do, but then you find out one of the main villains is Ganondorf. Ganondorf was the main bad guy in Ocarina of Time, and it looks like Ganondorf is once again one of the main bad guys in this game. We know Zant is, the biggest bad guy right now, but we know for a fact that later on we're probably going to be running into Ganondorf if we've been hearing stories about him like we have already. But, enough talk about that. As you see, these guys here, they can regenerate themselves. One of the best ways to take these guys out is just shoot them with 2 bomb arrows from a distance. That's the safest way to take these guys out. As you can tell, they can throw their spears at you, and that can be pretty dangerous if you're not careful. But other than that, they're pretty easy. They do go down with a couple sword swings, but it's just faster to use bomb arrows if you can use those. So, right here is where our boss key is, so that's the fastest boss key we've ever gotten. So now we're ready to head our way to the boss, and what's a pumpkin doing in my treasure chest? This is supposed to be a key, not food. What's this? This isn't right. She's got the wrong location. Want to go back and try to get her to remember where the key is? Yes, I do. I got a sword. I'm not afraid to use it. That's only a joke because you can't even pull out any of your weapons in the rooms where that beast is and the wife is as well. I don't know what the guy's official name is, which is why I keep on calling him the Beast. Even though I know he's not called the Beast. He's called something else. I just can't remember what it is off the top of my head right now. And as you see, there's this block in your way. You can't pull it, you can't push it. This is just a shortcut back down to this room we were in earlier, so really that's something we'll have to come back to later from a different angle. But it's just good to know that's there for now. But before we go back into the room to talk to the wife, Let's go ahead and actually talk to our friend here. What flavor? Pumpkin? You have pumpkin? Shove. I always like how he shoves you out of the way just to get the food that's in your pocket. So whatever food items you find in this dungeon, he'll add to his soup, and that will make the soup more powerful, and it can heal you more. I'm not really going to be using the soup, but it's good to know in case you need it. So let's talk to the wife here and see if she actually remembers where this key really is. What? Pumpkin? But why there? You tell me. No good. Where I leave it? Ah, maybe in that room. Go to room marked by symbol. So that room's all the way above, okay. Check room I marked on map. And she opens up the way to get us to where that room is. You do have to talk to her to progress each time, because as you can tell, she will unlock different parts of the dungeon for you. So you can't just try to go these ways yourself. The game won't let you. Real quick, I'm going to go over here first, because I do believe you do need to get like a cannonball or something from one of the other rooms for that main room, but actually I want to go over in this room first. Because actually, now thinking about it, this might be where we need to go. Now you see these little ice creatures, you can just try to slash them with your sword, or better yet, try to shoot them with a bomb arrow. You can't hit them directly, because as you see it's doing nothing, but shoot on the side and it will blow up right next to them. Because of that, these creatures will die. So that's good to know. Now let's pick up this cannonball and start running. So this cannonball here actually will be used to knock away a lot of these frozen ice pillars and whatnot that's in our way. And I am out of bombs in that bag, so you know what, let's use up these bomblings as bomb arrows. I don't care about bomblings. So I'll just use these instead. As you see right here, we have a cannon. What you need to do is you need to put your cannonball inside of it, and then to launch the cannonball out of it, you put a bomb in that hole where you put the cannonball. And that's pretty much how you ignite these things. So when we get the bombling, since that's the only real type of bomb I have right now I can use, and oh, apparently you can't use bomblings. Completely forgot about that. So we got the water bombs to use for now. This dungeon will give us standard bombs later if I do remember, so it's not that big of a deal that ran out of standard bombs. You can go ahead and bomb the other parts of this room, but really, there's nothing important on these other areas, so I just say don't do it. It's not really worth your time. And in here I do believe is where the compass is, so this is not required by any means, but it does get you familiar with how the cannonball stuff works, so it's something wise to do in case you're wondering how that's going to work and whatnot. Now you could use bomb arrows to get rid of these guys, or better yet, just go ahead and use your claw shot and just knock them off the edge. It's actually the easier way of doing things. Now you don't want to go any farther ahead, because you will slide off this platform here. It's that slippery. So you want to jump to the other side, and when we see another crack like this, we want to jump again. And there you go, you're safe. Giving us a red rupee, don't care about that. I'm only here for the compass. They give you the map easily, but the compass is another story. You gotta go out of your way for this one. And it's in more of a hazardous area, which really isn't a big deal. And there's an easy way just to get back to where you were. You just use your claw shot and just go back to the beginning. Simple as that. Now you see, once you get the compass, they show you where cannonballs are on the map. So the compass is actually pretty useful in this dungeon, and I highly recommend you get it if this is your first time playing through this dungeon. It really helps. That's why I wanted to grab the compass now, because as you can tell, this is really going to be beneficial for us trying to find cannonballs. And we need a key. Fantastic. Actually, I want to transform into a wolf real quick here, because that's going to help me out. And let me see if I can get these guys in my little attack. Come on. No? You guys don't want to get in this? You don't want to get in my big circle? Well, fine. Let me just dig up here then. I think this is where our next small key is anyways. So, oh hey, what do you know? Treasure chest. I had to dig more. Yeah, I do. What the heck? Game wasn't letting me dig for a second there. But they make this key actually pretty hidden, so unless you're using your senses, you're not gonna know that's there. Now really, we only need this key just to unlock this door so we can bring those cannonballs with us on the outside. But for some odd reason, Link doesn't think of, you know, putting the cannonball down, opening the door, and taking it with him through the door. No, what you need to do is you need to take a cannonball and put it on one of these little contraptions, go out of the door, and then just pull the lever so that the cannonball rolls out to the other side here. It's kind of annoying, actually. Why can't Link just carry the cannonball out with him is beyond me. But it doesn't matter, we can get this pretty easily, so it's really just a nitpick. And as you see, once you get in the deep snow like this, you're going to be moving pretty slow. Whenever you get in the deep snow, if you can, I recommend just transforming into a wolf, and I did not mean to select bombings. Keep on doing that. Keep on trying to use bomblings to ignite these cannons, which is kind of killing me in the process. And this is just for rupees, I believe, so this isn't... oh, no, this is actually for standard bombs. So that's good. I'll keep on using water bombs for now, though, when I have to do this, because really, water bombs aren't getting used anywhere else right now, so let's just put them to good use here. But like I was trying to say earlier, if you're walking through deep patches of snow like that, I'd try to go ahead and transform into a wolf if I were you, because the wolf actually moves faster in the snow than human Link does, so it's more advisable just to be a wolf Link for that segment. And I did not mean to take out my sword. Now you could fight these things, or better yet, just skip them entirely like me. And then the camera's fading out to black. Usually when that happens, we have a mini-boss up ahead. And I'm well prepared for this mini-boss. This one's actually probably one of the easiest mini-bosses in the game, in my opinion. But there's nothing in the room. It looks very safe. Or so we thought. One of the statues actually was a goon all along. And he has a big wrecking ball to use against us, and that thing can do some damage. So one of the things you can do in this boss fight is you can use your claw shot to hook shot your way on the rooftops here, and with that gets you across easier. But if you go ahead and use the Mortal Draw, it's an instant KO. I have no idea why they had to keep this instant KO factor for this mini boss, because really, it's extremely cheap. Now I kind of want to get through this dungeon, in fact this game, as fast as I can and whatnot, so now I'm not caring if I did that kind of a thing, but he would have taken a couple hits to kill. He's not really that hard, doesn't take that long, but what I recommend doing is hookshot your way on the rooftops if you can to avoid this ball and chain, and then just attack him when he's open. As soon as he throws his ball and chain, he will be open for attacks, so you have a good amount of time just to slice and dice his tail. But with that, he drops his ball and chain, and we get to use it for ourselves now. The ball and chain actually is going to be one of the most useful items for us for Poe hunting. So after we're done with this dungeon, we're going to be doing Poe hunting for quite some time. I will apologize in advance for that, but I'm going to try to make it as entertaining as I can and as painless as I can for you guys to watch. Because I know not everyone wants to watch someone hunt for Poes. It can get annoying. And goat cheese? Where do we stop getting food and get our boss key? We need the key, not food. Ah, food again? Yeah, I had a bad feeling about this. She didn't seem very sure of herself. Oh well, let's head back and hope she had some other brilliant idea. Now, what I'm going to do real quick, just to make things a little faster for us, is I can't use Uku in here, really? I was about to say, I'm going to use Uku and warp myself to the front of the dungeon, but because I'm in a boss-like area, it's not going to let me use Uku at all. So the one time I wanted to use Uku for a shortcut, I kinda can't. That figures as much. Now that we have the wrecking ball here, or ball and chain, I don't know why I keep on calling it wrecking ball now. Feels like a wrecking ball in a lot of ways. We can go ahead and destroy all these little ice blocks and whatnot that are blocking the way. Which makes things very easy for us now. But I want to go in here real quick and just knock away this one. It's kind of like more of a minor thing. You don't have to do this, but I just kind of feel obligated to anyways. And plus, now that we have the cheese, we'll probably want to go back to the husband real quick and give him that before we go see the wife. Because one of the things you do have to do in this dungeon is you do have to give the food to the husband first before you can talk to the wife, and she marks a new location on your map. I admit it is stupid, but it's kind of a fast thing to do anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Needs more punch. What? Good smell? What do you have? I'll punch you. He needs more punch, so he punches Link. Perfect ingredient, huh? So all I needed was a pumpkin and cheese, and this thing is fully upgraded. Little more time on fire, it becomes gourmet soup. Here, taste. So that's the last little food item we do give him. So you guys can kind of figure that the next chest that she's gonna show us on our map is gonna actually be the key. But now his soup is fully upgraded. So if you want a soup that restores, I think it's 8 hearts, then just go ahead and scoop her up. So now she is starting to really remember where that key is. She says it's in this nearby room, and she's now embarrassed by it. But as you see, it's on the 2nd floor. But we won't be able to get to that till quite some time in the dungeon. The other 2 rooms, it was easy for us to get to them, but this one's more out of the way, kind of hard to get to. But with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here, guys. So, next time, let's play Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. We're going to go ahead and traverse more into the Snowpeak Ruins. I'll see you guys next time.